G'day guys, it's Sammy Gordon here from Australian Property Scout. And if you're wise Wednesdays and your hot tip of the week. Now this week's hot tip is all about buying below market. We're going back to the absolute basics, the most fundamental part of building yourself a portfolio, a big portfolio quickly, and how you can essentially scale it very quickly as well. And essentially that all comes back to buying below market. And what I'm going to show you here is pretty much how you do it and how you make sure you're actually making as much as you can on the way in and building that portfolio as quickly as possible. So look, essentially what it is, you got a house here, you're going out to buy a house, and essentially what you're doing, right, let's say the average property you're going out there to buy is say 300k, right? So the market value on it is 300k. If you're buying it below market, obviously, say we want 10% below market, you're buying at 270,000, right? That's 10% below. That's a pretty tidy little figure. But look, at Australian Property Scout, we pride ourselves on making the biggest discounts that we possibly can. So something like this, we'd be looking for we'd be trying to get 15% below market, which is about your 255k. Yeah, that's your 10%. That's your 15%. And essentially what you can do, right, if you're going out and using 10% deposits, the rest of the money you need, your stamp duty and legals and all the rest of sort of stuff, you need to be buying in around about that 15% below market to be able to continue rolling deposits. Now, I'll go properly into recycling equity and rolling deposits next week. But for this week, I want to show you why this is so fundamentally important. If you're buying it at this sort of, it's worth this sort of money, but you're buying it even more below 10% at your 15% below market, you essentially can pull all that money out and roll it into another deal. Say 3 to 6 months time, you get that thing revalued. As long as it's got a half decent cash flow associated with it, you will be able to keep moving forward and keep rolling it like that. How do you find properties like this? Obviously, you want to ascertain the right market you want to do this in. The local market still has to have all the fundamentals of a good investment that you need to go down anyway. So you're looking for all the good stuff and finding a good deal anyway. You get to know that market like the back of your hand. I'm talking 3 months minimum as a research time in an area to see what all sales are coming through at different pockets in that market, so you can really understand and know what that thing's worth. And then it comes back to, at that same amount of time, you should be networking with local agents, almost like trying to make a few mates in there. That's honestly how I've always done pretty well. I get on pretty well with a few certain key agents in a local market that do quite big volume. And essentially, if you get them on board, they start bringing you deals before they hit the market. And that's where sometimes you catch someone that needs to sell something quickly or needs to get it done. Essentially, you're the mate that they can come to, pick up the phone and call and be like, yeah, mate, I'll help you at that price. And then, that's the time in the market allows you to ascertain what fair market value is. Networking with your local agents makes you, gets you those deals coming through. And then essentially what we're doing is we're doing everything we can to beat market value and get it at the best price we can. Now, honestly, it is the most fundamental part of building a portfolio. A lot of people go out there to develop. They're going out there developing properties to make a 15 to 20% margin. And sometimes it can take them 2 years, and they've got to put in, $500,000 of their own capital to make deals like that work. You can honestly roll capital and build a portfolio very quickly if you're making margins like that on all deals that you're doing. Now, if it's something you want help with, if you don't think you have the time for that to get ahead with that sort of stuff, you don't have the time to do it, you don't think you have the expertise to do it or the knowledge and experience, reach out to us, either send us a direct message or send me an email at sam@australianpropertyscout.com.au and let's have a chat about it, see how I can help you pick up properties like this and build yourself a scalable portfolio, a healthy portfolio that's both got cash flow, equity, and you can keep building that thing up. All right, guys, until next week.